This video accompanies part 18 of the Digital DJ Tips Learn to DJ free email course. And today we're talking about music file formats. If you haven't signed up for the course, by the way, go and do so. digitaldjtips.com/join. It's completely free. You get a weekly email, community forum discussion and further reading, as well as access to a video of the week. So music file formats, what's the problem? The problem is, apart from getting your head around music file formats, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to do that, the problem is understanding why there might be an issue with digital music. Now think about it this way. When you write a letter, a real old-fashioned letter, you get paper, you get pen, you think about what you're going to write, you do a good job of the letter. Then you have to put it in an envelope. You have to go and pay some money for the letter to be distributed to wherever you want to send it. Now imagine you were sending out 1,000 copies of the same letter. You'd be very careful, wouldn't you? Now imagine sending an email. Imagine sending an email to 1,000 people. You bang it out, you click send to all, and that's it. There could be spelling mistakes in there. You don't pay the same amount of attention. And it's the same with digital music. This is where the problem has arrived. In the old days, to make a CD or a record, it was like posting a letter, but obviously with a few zeros on the end of the cost. You had to know what to do in the first place. You had to have quality control, which is like your spelling. You had to then pay for it to be distributed. So only the best stuff got written or recorded, and then it was professionally got to where it was meant to go properly. Now compare that to digital music. Anyone can make a record. We know that. We encourage you to make music and mashups, but once you've done them, you can put them out there for next to nothing. So you can see how why there's so much good music out there, but at the same time, why there's just so much music, and a lot of it can be of a lower quality. So you need to be able to spot the lower quality stuff. Now there's two ways of doing this. The first way is to understand a little bit of the technicalities of it. So let's clear the technicalities up first. There's two types of digital music that you can get: uncompressed and compressed. Uncompressed music we're not going to touch on because most DJs don't use it. The ones who do are very, very vocal about it, but believe me, 95% of DJs do not use uncompressed music. 95% of DJs use compressed music. That just means that it's been shrunk. And it's been shrunk by taking away the stuff that anyone apart from a dog and a 10-year-old cannot hear. So therefore, a compressed MP3 or a compressed AAC and MP3 are the two formats that are used generally and by Apple. They're both compressed formats, but one that's been compressed not too much, that hasn't had too much of the musical information taken away from it, it's going to sound fine. And the simple thing to remember, if you don't want to go any further than the next 10 seconds of this video, is when you're buying MP3s, buy 320s, and when you're buying AACs, buy 256s. And if you don't buy lower than that, they're going to sound fine. Okay, so what's the problem then? We're getting our MP3s, we're getting our 320 MP3s and our 256 AACs. What's the problem? Well, the problem is twofold. Firstly, we've touched on it, a lot of crap gets put out there which doesn't sound good in the first place. You know, records and CDs were mastered professionally, and that means they were made to sound good when they were played back on all kinds of systems and speakers and so on. And a lot of modern music just that doesn't happen. There's also something called the Loudness Wars. Now that's where, in order for stuff to sound as loud as possible, when you put it in your computer or you put it in your whatever you're going to be playing it back on, they push everything up, and it uses something called compression, which basically, they do it on the radio actually a lot, because when you're driving in your car and the engine noise is going on, they want you to be able to hear all the music, hear the quiet bits as well as the loud bits. But unfortunately, it kind of takes away a little bit of the dynamism of the music, and over a long period of time, and loud, it can sound awful. Now, a lot of music nowadays is compressed. So you're dealing with music that's been compressed too much, so will make you tired when you listen to it for too long. You're also dealing with music that's not been very professionally made. Now, no 320 MP3 or 256 AAC is going to cure that for you. So you've got to use your ears. Another reason why you've got to use your ears is that a lot of music might be called a 320 MP3 or a 256 AAC, but it's nothing of the sort. So how can that happen? Well, it mainly happens with music that's been got from unauthorized sources. So the easy way to stop that is just to not get music from unauthorized sources. If you do have a MP3 or an AAC that you think you're not sure if it was bought properly from somewhere, and you're also not sure if it sounds very good, well, there might be an issue. And here's where the issue comes in. If someone has got a poor quality MP3, now I've told you that 320 is the lowest number you should use because that's the highest amount of compression. You can get MP3s at 128, 192, 256. 128s especially, and 96s are like AM radio, they're going to sound terrible. Now someone who doesn't know what they're doing, who gets a pile of pirated MP3s at 96 or 128 that have been ripped from YouTube or taken from some online streaming service, someone who's done that might say to themselves, well, I don't know, I want this to be 320, and put it through a crappy utility they've downloaded from the internet, and then expect that because the utility says that it's now a 320, it is, but it's not. It's like trying to restore cinefilm. Once you've taken away the colour because it's just faded over time, once you've taken away too much sound information by compressing it too low, you can't just stick it on DVD and then it's back to normal. It's still like a crap cinefilm. And the same with an MP3. Just because you've taken a really bad quality MP3 and put it through software that churns out 320s, you know, it ain't going to sound any better than it did when it was a 96. So if there is the odd file that you haven't got from a legal source, for whatever reason, it could be completely innocent and it doesn't sound very good, that's probably what's happened. Bin it and go and buy it. And finally, this is your main line of defence against bad MP3s. This and these. If you've got good speakers and good headphones and you turn your music up loud and listen to it critically, if it sounds good, it's probably okay. And if it doesn't sound good, it probably isn't. So don't trust the file format or the bit rate or any of that stuff over your own ears. Trust your ears, as in everything with DJing, trust your ears, because your ears are highly trained, more highly trained than your audience's. That's why you're a DJ. So learn to have faith in yourself, learn to listen critically, buy the right formats, and don't use pirated music. Do that, and 4 times out of 5, you'll be fine. 5th time out of 5, it was a crap record in the first place. It happens. Just bin it and go and find something better. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video of our Learn to DJ email course.